Let's get a quick take on the renaming of downtown Denver's YMCA location, ruffling a few feathers. The facility is set to begin remodeling in February, and once reopened, will carry the name of Benjamin F. Stapleton Jr., reigniting the debate over the legacy of the family name. Patty Calhoun from Westward. Well, let's see here. We're back to the naming issue and the legacy of the father, the sins of the father, and we're talking about Junior here, so it's a different person. What do you make of the kerfuffle?
At a certain point, this has to stop, or else Walker Stapleton is going to be in a lot of trouble running for governor of Colorado. In this case, it's the son, it is the heir, not Benjamin Stapleton, who was the KKK member when he was the mayor of Denver. So let's acknowledge what this man has done, the good deeds. If the Y wants to name itself after him, that's just fine, unless he wants to change his name to maybe Benjamin.
That could be an option. Michael Fields joins us from Americans for Prosperity. What do you think about the whole naming idea? I mean, this is naming buildings in honor of folks has happened for hundreds of years, but it's come under a lot more scrutiny, it seems, lately. What do you think about this particular issue in Denver?
I agree with Patty on this, that everybody's their own person, and there is that issue with the KKK and Mayor Stapleton back in the day, but his son, from everything that we saw, is somebody who was on the board of the Y. He helped people around Denver a lot, and so I think what your parents do shouldn't really impact how you are, and so I think it's a good idea. I think it keeps the discussion going. Obviously, the Stapleton discussion isn't gonna stop here, but I agree with Patty on it.
Penfield Tate joins us, attorney with QTAC Rock, also a longtime state lawmaker. Names, legacies being honored on a building. What do you make of it?
And it's unfortunate this has occurred because the Y is a great organization in this community. And this was a board I actually served on years ago, so I understand what they're going through. And Patty's right, Michael's right. It's the son, it's not the father who's the KKK member. But there's this whole issue around sensitivity now and just being cognizant of your surroundings and what's going on. We've talked about it with the whole gentrification piece and how the city's responding, but it's just odd that this comes up at a time where Forest City is actively and intentionally trying to phase out the use of the name Stapleton and everything they're doing there in that development. So it's unfortunate that the Y, and I appreciate why they're honoring Benjamin Jr., but it's unfortunate that this has occurred, just given the overall environment.
John Bowen at 5 Points News. I'll expose my real big geekdom right here. I know in Star Trek lore, the Klingons would say 7 generations that the person will have to bear the shame of the father. I don't think it's going to be 7 generations for this one, but how long does the Stapleton issue become a big deal in Denver because of what happened with not Junior but Senior?
Well, and in deference to just a member of the KKK, he was the Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard. He was the Grand Dragon. He's the guy that would march up and down Broadway with the Klan in full regalia. And he made sure that everybody who was on city council and who was in the state legislature was a member of the Klan. And we're not talking about hundreds of years ago. Well, almost 100 now. We're talking about the 20s, but time passes. But at the same time, as Penn mentioned, I was on the board of the East Denver Y and the Downtown Y. And as a matter of fact, I'm a 30-year member of the Downtown Y, and we go 3 times a week and play basketball and lift and whatever. I just think if the membership says no, then perhaps there are other people who are more worthy. I know the family gives a lot, and that should be recognized as well. But as Penn mentioned, the sensitivity issue is a big deal, and I don't think that Y should have to go through that drama when this is kind of like the ultimate rainbow coalition kind of building.